Hello world, my name is Ilian Stankov and I'm the man behind iteachenglish.net. Even though this will be a language teaching channel, I will also create series of videos sharing with you my know-how. With other words, making video tutorials showing you how I utilize technology to build useful stuff. In today's video, we're going to explore how we can use Python to read data from a spreadsheet and then make API calls to Amazon's Polly to generate text-to-speech audio files.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will read any text you type here.
Before we continue, let me first explain what is my use case so that you can get better understanding on what is achievable. I'm creating digital flashcards for software called awscli, and this is the spreadsheet for one of the decks I made. What I want is to take the data inside these two columns, extra and explanation, and turn it to speech. Which is more, I want every cell to be recorded twice. First time with female voice and second time with a male voice. Like that.
Verb forms, to accept, accepted, accepted.
Verb forms, to accept, accepted, accepted.
To take or give something willingly.
So you got the point, we're not going to listen to the whole thing. One way we can achieve that is to take the text, move to Polly's web interface, paste it, configure the voice.
Verb forms, to accept, accepted, accepted.
If we're satisfied with the result, we download the file, we go to the next voice.
Verb forms, to accept, accepted, accepted.
We download the file, then we take the next text and we repeat.
To take or give something willingly, I accept your apology. I will not accept a slice of cake. I am on a diet.
So we're happy with that, we download, then we move to the next voice and we have total of 4 files. Then somehow we combine these 4 files into a single file and then this final single file can be attached to a flashcard and be useful. Unfortunately, this would take tremendous amount of manual work, and even for a deck that is as small as 90 cards, it would take probably 1 or 2 days to complete. And for bigger decks, for example, currently I'm making a deck with 3000 cards, this will probably take a month and it makes no sense to do it manually. So now we will explore how we can use Python to make the computer do this for us. One important thing though is there are a few very simple steps that you need to do them before you can follow along with this tutorial. The first one is to create AWS account, create API credentials for your AWS account, and then install and configure AWS CLI and Boto3. Each of these tasks is very simple and I will not cover it here because this video is not targeted to very beginners. However, if you need instruction on how to do that, you can go to YouTube, then you can search Python AWS Polly and you can watch these 2 videos, speech synthesis with Amazon Polly in Python, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 will show you how to install and configure these services, and then part 2 will give you some very basic information on how to make calls to the AWS API. And once you have this knowledge, you can come and proceed here. It will make far more sense. Now, this is the actual Python. We have several variables and I recommend you to leave them be the way they are. However, let me explain you a few of them. We'll be using SSML formatted text. Pretty much SSML is a markup language like HTML and XML. It has tags and most of them require opening and closing. Then everything between these 2 speak tags will be converted to speech. SSML allows you to configure how the text will be spoken. You can add pauses, you can speed it up, slow it down, you can add a whispering voice, and so on. If you want to see all tags, come to the question mark. It will bring you to the Amazon Poly Developer Guide. Then under using SSML, click on supported tags, and here you will see all the tags that are supported by the SSML. In my code, I'm using the break tag to add 1 second of silence, and this silence is used to create logical separation between the different voices. Here we have the opening speak tag, we have the closing speak tag, and we have the break. Then we have desired output MP3. We are telling the API that we are providing it with SSML formatted text. We are using the neural voice. What does it mean? So here under engine, you see that we have this option neural. Pretty much this is human-like conversational voice. If you want to use neural engine, you need to specify a region that supports it. Again, come to the developer guide, come to neural TTS, and if you scroll down to feature and region compatibility, you will see that the neural voice is supported in these 4 regions. For example, because I'm in Europe, I had chosen US 1, you pick up the one that's closest to you. And the way you can configure it, AWS configure, here you have the awscli, and in this option, default region name, just choose the region that's closest to you and also supports neural voice. Let's continue. Then we have audio stream. This is the part of the response that contains the actual audio recording. Here we have a couple of variables that you actually need to modify to make the script work for you. And it's important to know that this script currently will only work on Mac, but I'm sure that it will be fairly easy for you to modify it to work on other platforms as well. First, we have the absolute path to the directory where you want to store your output files. Then you provide the absolute path to the spreadsheet that will be used to read data from. After that, you're providing the sheet name. So what does it mean? In terms of spreadsheets, this is the actual spreadsheet, and then every spreadsheet has different pages. So this option here specifies which page you want to read data from. After that, we have the columns to read. My script currently is reading 2, but you can add as many or as few as you want. And here we are specifying the voices, the male and the female voice. How the script works, here we're using pandas to open the spreadsheet and then creating data frame to be able to manipulate the data. There is a for loop which will iterate through every row in the spreadsheet. For every row, we're calling the convert TTS, text to speech, and create audio file function. Row and column to read are used to determine which cell should be converted to speech. Let me demonstrate. This is the row, this is the column, and here where they intersect is the cell that will be read and converted to speech. And after that, we have the voice. You will notice that here for the first 2 calls, we're calling the function with the very same arguments. The only thing that's different is the voice. This is because, as we discussed, I want it first recorded with female voice, then with a male voice. And after that, moving to the next one. It does the same thing for the second column, and this results in 4 different audio files, each containing unique information. After that, we're calling another function that will combine the temporary files and turn them into a final file. This final file will be used to be attached to an Anki flashcard. How this is done? Pretty much this is how we make API calls. We're using this method synthesize speech, and we're passing it several arguments. First, we're providing the actual text that we want to convert to speech, and because it's SSML, we have the opening tag, the closing tag, and the 1 second pause. After that, we have the cell, row and column. We specify that this is SSML formatted text. MP3 is the desired output. This is the voice we want to use, and again using neural engine. Make sure that your AWS supports neural voices if you want to use this feature. Here we are crafting the name for the temporary file and we are writing it to disk. After that, we have the function that will combine the temporary files into a final file. Here again we're crafting the name of the final file. Here we're crafting the command that will be used to create the final file. One important thing to note is that I'm using cat to create the final file. This means that all metadata will be lost. So if you care about metadata, you need to use something else. After that, explicitly change to the directory containing the files and run the command that will combine them. And of course, finally, we call delete temp files to delete the temporary files. As with the previous functions, we first craft the command that will delete them, then we explicitly move to the directory containing the desired files, and we run the command to delete them. What's interesting here is how easy it is for you to customize the code and make whatever you want it to do. Let's go back to the spreadsheet and say that instead of reading extra and explanation, I want it to read first ID with female and male voice, then I want it to read explanation, and then I want it to read extra. How can we do that to have it read two more columns? It's actually very simple. We take the functions, we make two more function calls, and we just update the column argument. Third. Okay, and here we come to the variables. So we said that we wanted first to read ID, then explanation, and then extra. So now, the first two times we are calling the function, it will convert the ID row, and then we'll convert the explanation, and then we'll convert the extra. So that it doesn't run too many times, let me just add one return here so that it will iterate only once and it will not go through all the files, but okay, actually let me delete that so that you can see what's happening. Okay. We expect to hear one with female voice, one with male voice, and so on.
1.
1.
To take or give something willingly, I accept your apology. I will not accept a slice of cake. I am on a diet. Later today, they will make me a job offer, and I think I will accept it.
And so on. We're not going to listen to the whole thing, but you got the point how easy it is for you to customize it. And of course, you can add as many or as few columns as you would like. If you like this video, give it a like and share it with anybody who might be interested to learn this as well. My name is Ilyan Stankov, and even though this is a language teaching channel, I will also be creating series of videos teaching you how I use technology to create useful stuff. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.